Hi, I'm Dany Jahiti, and welcome to the Happy Mess World podcast. This is episode 3, and I'm here with my co-host and producer, Jahiti of Brownfish.
Hello.
Episode 3. So far, such a great reaction to the first 2. I'm super excited to be here again.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun. People have been responding well. I mean, really, we've kind of just been selfish about it and really sharing it with our friends and our family, like through private emails and we share it every once in a while.
Yeah, but thankfully we have awesome friends and family, so we're well above 3 listeners, which is where we started off. Ming was our 3rd listener besides ourselves, right?
That's right. But
it was a good week. It was a funny week. Some
Fun
interesting
week.
Stories to talk about this time.
Yeah, definitely. Let's start with Thug Life Baby.
Yo, this kid, he stole my heart. He's sitting here rocking his little baby brother or sister, I can't tell what, and he on the sneak attack, he goes and just flips the baby over, and it just, oh my god, besides just being downright funny, it just reminded me of some of the torturous things I did to my 10-year younger brother Max, and oh god, I was the worst. I mean, I could not get past I'm the baby girl, so what's he doing here kind of thing. And I know you know how that feels since you have a sister that's, 13
years old. Well, first of all, I love all these Thug Life
They're all
videos.
hilarious, absolutely.
Yeah, because you really don't, it's out of nowhere, and
But what's the worst thing you ever did to Monique?
I don't know, but I would say that I was 13. I was 16 when she was 3, 4. So I guess probably around the time she was 2, I probably was body slamming her.
Oh, God.
And that's in the prime of wrestling. So I probably body slammed her on every bed, probably banged her head off the wall a few times. Mm-hmm. I have no idea. I'm sure she remembers every single one of them.
Oh, so you have to meet Ja's sister in person. She's like an itty bitty thing, but she's got a warrior spirit. So she turned out great. So I guess you didn't have too bad of an effect on her.
No. So our next story.
Yeah.
And just want to piggyback on just talking about your best friend.
Yeah.
And I lost my best friend, and
that's not something I wanted to have in common with you. But
yeah,
that sucks too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the next story that we had was about something
people dying.
Yeah, about people dying.
Interesting. Yeah, I like to call this story "Ashes to Ashes and Trees to Trees."
And so a company has come up with a way of putting, I guess, your ashes in
a biodegradable urn. And then your essence, your ash essence, becomes a tree.
Which is pretty cool.
Dope. Yeah. So, not that I want you to go anywhere, but would you want that? Have you ever thought about what you would want to have happen to you?
Well, you know what? In my Aquarius mind, I have always said to, my mom for years, just, cremate me and then throw the ashes wherever you want to throw them. I don't care. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Type of thing. And, this is pretty cool. But the only problem I have, the advertisement shows a 200-year-old tree next to it, which I would rather see some trees that have actually gone through the process.
Oh,
you know what I mean? That would have to be Abraham Lincoln in there or something like that.
That's actually pretty funny. Yeah, they're making some really big predictions as to what your tree life is going to be like. But that's pretty funny. Yeah, no. I've always wanted to be cremated. I actually didn't know we had that in common. So, yeah. No coffins for me.
We're still learning things about ourselves after 4 years of marriage.
4.5?
4.5. Ow! All right, now. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting. I don't know if... I wonder if Ooh would have wanted that. Something about that feels like he might have been cool with that.
Yeah. For
there to be a physical tree somewhere.
Yeah. But you know what? Ooh comes back as rain. Every time it rains now. I feel like, he's there. He's there with us, so. It's been raining often since he passed.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he's always around, and that's a blessing, so.
Now, the next story that came up was kind of whack and
scary.
Yeah, because a pet is
your baby.
Yeah. And unfortunately, there's a story. I think it may come up next week. It was talking about CAT scans and stuff like that. We don't go too far in there about scanning of dogs' brains and how much they really love us. And so this sort of story was kind of sad about this Purina Beneful dog food lawsuit. A man claiming dog food the dog food brand killed his pet. You know what I mean? Not got it sick, but killed it.
Right. So I can't imagine what would happen to me if something happened to Ming, because that is absolutely my baby. But look at the picture of this dog food. It looks like that cereal you like. What's it called again? Fruit Loops?
Yeah.
Yeah, no shade.
Yeah.
However, it looks like, a lot of food coloring and preservatives and all kinds of bad stuff. Like, it's like eating Cheez-Its, like, which I always refer to as like eating fake orange, so, I wouldn't give Ming that, but it did lead to an interesting conversation about, I actually had a friend who is actually a vet, and she kind of provided some information on that link, talking about that you actually can provide your dog with real human food, just as long as it's devoid of spices, just being really careful, a little bit of hamburger, a little bit of rice. Ming doesn't, we give Ming some food now. Okay. I give Ming some food when you're not looking.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted me to say? That's what your face is saying right now. I admit it.
And she tells on you every time. Because, like, you'll bring out something or you'll be eating something. I'm like, why is Ming acting like she eats this thing? Like, she is on you. And then...
But we share a love of cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, but no benefit for her. And no Fruit Loops for you. But anyway, next.
So... Let's go on to the next story, because it was absolutely your biggest story and a little crazy.
This was crazy.
About DC dating.
Yeah, so basically the story was saying that single men in DC spend an average of $177 on a first date. Now, I could see $177 on a date, a special night, a first date for somebody you don't know that well. I mean, that's pretty steep, and it's steep and by the way, I lived in DC for years before getting married and moving to Baltimore, and I know that even now, hanging out with my girlfriends, by the time all the wine at the restaurant has been had, and we've had appetizers and more wine, and finally our meals, and more wine and some dessert and more wine. I mean, we're easily spending $100 on our girls' night out, but that's something that you plan for and and expect and things like that. So it is very jarring to think that single men are somehow mentally required to, or having to spend $177 on a first date. So what do you think?
Now I am completely the opposite way. Mm-hmm. One, I'm not a foodie, so I get no enjoyment out of going to a restaurant to eat anything.
Right,
like,
you're not a drinker either.
I'm not a drinker, like, so the whole thing about going out is not really up my alley. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a let's share something with each other. Show me something that you do, and I'll show you something I do type of guy. But
sorry, I'm just thinking back to our first date.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so,
next.
But if I were living in DC, it seemed like I would be in that DC world, and quite possibly maybe I would fall into the just do what people are accustomed to, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
I really think I just wouldn't be down with that at all.
On a first date, I think that's a scary amount. But anyway, this post elicited like a lot of strong emotion, and I think the intent was the same, and I think just how people approached it and tried to get there was very different. So, we're all funny on Facebook until we're not. And I think, there was a little bit of a persona from men of, nah, no way, I don't owe her anything. Well, I don't think any woman on the post was expecting you to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to think some of the women I know are not the average. And, they're, yeah, this is a tough one because, I mean, DC is just an expensive city, and, there are different types of women, but, you are what you attract, and some men love the idea of spending $177 on a date and taking that woman out, and that woman
make it very easy.
And that woman, very easy for, excuse me.
To spend $177, like, I'm just going to take you to some restaurant that's supposed to be something.
I thought you meant that makes her easy to, I thought that meant it easy to get some.
Well, hey, I don't know what the rules of engagement are nowadays, but essentially, I feel like, if you don't know how to think outside of the box, the easiest thing for me to do is to impress you with my money. Is to buy you something, take you to this place so you can tell people you went here. And yeah, you get to go back home to your girls and say, I went to here and I went to there. Now, a date with me, you're going to say, listen, this Negro took me walking in the woods.
No, I loved it.
He took me out on a boat.
Yep.
You know, a little motor rowboat at that, you know.
We went to a coffee shop and you read to me.
You know what I mean? So that's...
Yeah, I loved it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. You got to be a special kind of lady to enjoy those kind of things.
I have a friend here, Nicole Malloy, who I've known since undergrad, who made a great suggestion about like a first date is coffee or a visit to an art museum, ice cream during a trip through an outdoor festival. Like, I think all of those are really amazing, beautiful ideas and actually give you an opportunity to get to know somebody. It's the same thing. Like, I think when you go out on a first date, unless that was somehow the cause for you meeting or connecting, like, you should never take a woman out to a movie. Because, you know, how do you really get to know that person? So, anyway.
Next story that came up was coconut oil fixes everything. And we've been seeing this a lot, like, to clean your gums and...
Listen, I just, you know, I cannot get down with this coconut oil thing. And I feel silly, but I just don't understand something that goes from, like, sauteing your vegetables, putting it under your armpit, then brushing your teeth, and then rubbing your feet at night. Like, I'm not trying to be nasty, but like literally, that is just a few of the many ways that you can use coconut oil. And I don't understand the concept of like mixing coconut oil with maybe a little bit of peppermint oil and creating toothpaste. So then I can turn around and add like who God knows what, and then stick it under my armpit as natural deodorant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely, I would say
and then, like, rubbing it all over your body for, like, sexy time. Like, I don't get it. Like,
is that what this goes into?
No, what I'm saying, I mean, literally, it does everything. It's like a magic elixir or something. And I know I'm being, like, silly, and I really believe in a lot of home remedies. But honestly, I'm probably just, I don't know. You're
can't good with lotion and regular deodorant?
Yeah, like, I so am. Like, am I just too, like, trendy and normal? Am I just like too much of a consumer that I could be doing these things?
Well, I mean, people are into what they're into, and people like what they like, and you know, definitely don't have to be all natural on everything.
The last story is how to drive across the USA. I love this story. You know, this is all part of my tiny house living, downsize and be great method of living that I want to embrace. And maybe that means I need to embrace some coconut oil because that means I can't afford regular lotion or something. But I love the idea. I am kind of appalled by how little of the U.S. that I've seen. And I grew up in Boston, went to school in Philly. I lived in Virginia. I mean, Arlington, so that's like living in D.C. and then, you know, like around Maryland and Baltimore. And that's it. Like, I've never seen the Grand Canyon. I've been to LA. I've been to San Diego, Florida. But you know, there's some major landmarks and some beautiful things to see in the U.S. that I haven't seen. So for me, my dream would be for us to like lock up our apartment, get in the car in like this amazing RV, like completely pimped out RV, and trek out with Mingzi across the U.S., across and all the way back and down. And as many sites as we get to see is as many places as you get to perform. And I just think it would be an amazing experience. And I think we need to find like 2 weeks in our lives to do that. What do you think?
I am all for it. I want to do it as well.
Okay. How do we get to that pimped out RV?
Well, you know, Ian, that's with MightyHip.com. He has, we've been talking to him about, you know, getting an RV and going across country and whatnot. And we also talked with Brother Sam. We were supposed to go to an RV, showcase? What do you call that? RV?
Yeah, it was, I mean, what do you call it? You know, like a show. Like, you know, like the annual boat show or the auto show.
Yeah, so the RV show.
Right.
And so...
Weather permitting, we did not, or weather not permitting, we didn't make it. But either way... So I love the Mighty Hip concept, going on an artist tour or whatever, but they need to have like a wives and dog bus. So you need to talk to Ian about that.
Will do.
All right.
So before we leave,
okay,
what color is the dress?
I was saying white and gold, but honestly, now it's all blue and black. And I don't know if that's a reflection of my mood, but I did hear that the dress was originally purchased for a mom purchasing it for her daughter's wedding and sending her daughter a picture of the dress. And what it did is that it caused some kind of uproar between like the bride and the husband, because everybody was asking, why would your mom wear white to your wedding? And the mother was like, what are you talking about? I just sent you a picture of a blue and black dress. So now I'm convinced that the dress was originally blue and black. Mm-hmm. And not so great of a dress. That's just my personal side. But I do think the dress is blue and black. I personally saw white and gold. I do think the concept that it was really that polarizing, and there have been many occasions in last week where we were watching the same thing on like Dish Nation or whatever, that we would see literally opposite things like the entire week. So yeah, freaky experiment.
Yeah, very weird. I definitely saw white and gold, but I don't know, it looked a little bit lavender and gold to me at times too. Didn't really see the black and, was it black and blue? I didn't really see that. So anyway,
that's the week. So this is our weekend in review. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. Ming, we'll see you next week.
Say goodbye, Ming.
No.
Not going to say goodbye?
Of course, she's completely silent right now.
Say goodbye, Ming.
Come on, Bixie. Come on, Mingsy. Uh-oh. All right, no. Okay, now she's quiet.
There we go.
Thank you.
Have fun. Please watch, and share, and comment.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you.
All right, bye.